Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another very special playoff edition of Making an Impact with Zebu Nation. That's right, today we are bringing to you the 2019 Major League Soccer Eastern Conference Finals with none other than Montreal Impact versus the New York Redbulls. This is the first leg, so it's not all the marbles. We still got the two legs, so we got a couple of videos to encapsulate these finals. But still, we're on a roll, we're playing good, and things are looking up. So let's take a look. Before we get into the Redbulls, our opponent for today, let's take a look at the playoffs and see how they've shaped up. Now, in the previous round, in the Eastern Conference semifinals, we, of course, beat the Columbus Crew over two legs, 4-1. Beat them a resounding 3-0 in the second leg. That was outstanding. Meanwhile, the Redbulls sort of squeaked past the New England Revolution. 3-2 overall. They held on for a 1-1 draw in the second leg to keep their advantage. So these are two sort of unexpected teams. I mean, I guess New York has played pretty well this season, so it's no real big surprise that they're in the finals. But it was kind of a toss-up between them and New England. Meanwhile, we did pull off the upset, beating Columbus, who was the #1 team in the Eastern Conference all season. Speaking of upsets, the Western Conference saw some huge upsets, including the biggest upset of the season by far. Seattle Sounders beat the LA Galaxy 4-3. They held on with a draw in the second leg to keep their advantage. And meanwhile, Houston Dynamo did the same thing, 1-1 draw in the second leg to keep their advantage over Sporting KC and beat them also 4-3 in aggregate. Now, Houston has played well all season. They've been up there as well as Sporting KC. The two of them have basically been fighting for second place in the Western Conference versus LA Galaxy. But if you go back and look at the competitions here, LA, Houston, Sporting KC, all three of those were at the top of the Supporter Shield all season long. Meanwhile, Seattle Sounders way down here in 10th place, only 47 points on the season. That's a huge upset for them to be in the Western Conference Finals. So you got to think that Houston is the favorite in the West, and meanwhile the Redbulls are going to be favored over us in the East, you would assume. Anyway, so let's take a look at the Redbulls, see what they're all about this season. Now, past seasons, they've been pretty good. I mean, their low point in the past, 6 years or so is 10th place. They did that a couple of times, but they've won the Supporter Shield a couple of times recently. Last year, they were in 5th place. So this is a team, the Redbulls, they know what it's like to be at the top of the league. They know what it's like to be in the playoffs year in, year out. This is a tough team. It's a good franchise. I don't think we've got any surprises in store for them. In terms of overall achievement, they've come in runners-up before in the MLS Cup in 2008. They've won the Supporter Shield, as I mentioned, a couple of times. They've come in 3rd place 3 times. That's an interesting stat. I didn't know we kept stats of 3rd place. But anyway, in terms of the Eastern Conference, they've won the Eastern Conference 4 times. 5 times if you count when they were the New York Metro Stars. I don't know if everybody knows this, but before they were rebranded as the Redbulls, they were known as the New York Metro Stars, a team that's been around for a long, long time. So, yeah. Anyway, I will talk about the Redbulls later, but for now we got other stuff to talk about. I mean the Red Bull as a brand, not necessarily the team, because we're going to continue to talk about the team, because we're going to look at their transfer history. How about that? Let's start out with their trades. They made a lot of interesting trades this year. Namely, they traded a lot of players away for a lot of draft picks. Traded away Sean Davis to Real Salt Lake for 2 draft picks in this year's draft. They picked up an international slot from Sporting KC for their 2nd-round pick. Then they picked up another draft pick for Henry Flores, another draft pick for Aaron Long. Then he traded away 2 future draft picks for Daniel Steres, 29-year-old American central defender. He's pretty good. Valued at $850,000. Nice Okay physicals, I guess. His mentals are pretty good. Technicals are where it's at least for the central defender type technicals. 15 heading, 12 marking, 13 tackling. That's pretty good. Some long throws to boot. Give him a little bit of versatility there. He can only play central defense. I guess he can play a little bit of defensive midfielder. Not really very pacey. But in terms of MLS, this is a good, solid defender, and they picked him up for just a couple of future draft picks. But they did stockpile this year's draft picks. So they were making moves in their roster this season, and it bears out in their transfers. Look at all these draft picks and other players they picked up. They picked up Chris Wehan from the San Jose Earthquakes in the waiver draft. They also picked up our very own Kyle Fisher, guy we picked up and then dropped at the end of last season. They picked him up in the waiver draft. And then this is interesting to me. I'm glad to see this. They picked up 3 guys from the Red Bull Academy. Scott Moore, Dave Noyes, and Michael Reyes. See if these guys are any good. Reyes, 18 years old. Nice physicals, I guess. I mean, he's all right for an 18-year-old. Pretty good. Noyes, a little worse. And Moore, about the same. 19 teamwork, though. That's pretty good. Anyway, I like to see this because the Red Bulls in real life, they're a team that's really dedicated to their academy. They've made a change in the last, 3 or 4 years, I guess, maybe even less than that, where they've just made a big commitment to their academy and young players and bringing up players through their system. So it's very, very cool to see this represented here in the game. You know, they get it. And that's the same thing with their draft picks. Look at all these super draft picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 super draft picks this season. So that's another influx of young talent to the Red Bull. Then they picked up Michael Stevens on a free. 30-year-old midfielder. I guess he's okay, I suppose. Adair is their big signing. $5.25 million. For the Italian 33-year-old striker / winger. Yeah, I'd say he's pretty good. So we got to watch out for Adair. And then Mateus Müller and Hugo Silva, another couple of more free pickups. These are internationals, though. Veda 2.7, they got him for free. Müller, 24-year-old Brazilian, picked him up for free as well. I mean, he's not quite as good, but still, he's pretty reasonable. And look at that, 16 tackling. He's a left back of some sort, wing back, full back. Good crossing, good pace. You know, so for a free transfer, that's pretty good. So this is what it should look like for an MLS club, is just a lot of guys. You pick them up for free, get them on the drafts and all that kind of stuff, and then you spend your big bucks on your designated player and your big-time player. So that's pretty good. Happy about that. What does their registration look like? Again, pretty good. 26 players. They only have 2 designated players, so they got room to grow this roster even more next season if they want to spend some more money, if they find another big-time player. Or maybe they'll have to give some money to a guy like Tyler Adams, a homegrown player. We saw him in the Going for Gold series, Team USA under 23s. We had to play against this guy. He's pretty good. So we're going to see him again in the playoffs. They might be saving that 3rd designated player slot for him or somebody like him. Anyway, Red Bulls are looking pretty good. And let's take a look at how they got here. I guess we can just take a look at their schedule, right? Yeah, so they did pretty well at the end of the season. You look at the 6-game unbeaten streak to end the season, including a 2-1 victory over Montreal. Oh, yeah, I remember this game. This was a tight game until the very end. We started scoring a bunch of goals. Vargas got a red card in the 85th minute, sent off, and they got their game winner in the 90th minute. So, you know, you could say they got a little lucky there, and I think this will be a good matchup. I think this will be a good game. All right, so let's get to it. We're gonna go all out. We're playing well in the 4-2-4. We're gonna stick with it. We're gonna go with the 4-2-4. It is a home game, so you know I was thinking about going back defensive and just try to hold on like we did in the first round. we played conservative at home, and then we went all out on the road and got the victory. But we're playing so well right now. I just don't want to break the mojo. So let's go, basically, and get to it. But yeah, the Red Bulls, they fascinate me because they're a brand that bought a professional sports team. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. We're a company, I guess it's the owner of the Red Bull, the energy drink company, goes around the world buying up soccer teams and relabeling them after his company. I'd never seen that before. I mean, I've seen it. Obviously, companies go out and they buy naming rights to stadiums and jerseys and all that kind of stuff. But to buy a whole club and rename that club after your soda company, it just strikes me as odd, and I'm fascinated by it. And they formed this little network of Red Bulls around the world. It's wild. It's wacky and wild. All right. So we've had some issues in the last week that was really weird. And not necessarily with injuries or anything like that, because everybody is pretty much back on form. Yeah, everybody is back except for... Let's see, I guess even Mancosu is back. That's weird. Vargas is sort of back. He's still not quite ready for prime time. But we did get Piet back from his suspension, so that's fine. But where our problems have come is actually in the dynamics. We got some players who are concerned all of a sudden about their playing time. Vargas wants to leave, wants to join Hamburg again. Like, I thought we got rid of this problem, but I guess not. Because nobody has come for any interest for Vargas since, the first season. So I don't know what he's all on about. But he wants to go play in a higher division. Whatever, we'll deal with that in the offseason. But Hassler wants to leave, that's fine. Mancosu came to me and he was like upset again because we broke our promise and we didn't find him a new team. And basically the only reason we broke that promise is because we've gone so far in the playoffs. Like, his contract was supposed to end at the end of the season, but our season won't end because we're still in the playoffs. So we passed the deadline after his contract was supposed to run out. I couldn't, so honestly I would have just cut him, but we can't cut him now. It's like a roster dead period. We can't make any roster moves. So we're just sort of stuck with Mancosu for as long as we keep winning, for as long as we stay in the playoffs. So that's sort of unfortunate. And then Rick Tran came out for some reason in the public to the newspapers and said he wants to leave because he doesn't feel he's going to get first-team soccer. So, I mean, that's true, sort of, except we're giving him first-team soccer this week. So, I mean, he played well as a substitute in our last game, so I figured, I'd bring him in and start him. And this is our starting lineup. We got Lutweiler in goal, Taylor, and Duvern. I guess I'm not starting him. I thought I was starting him, but no, I'm not. I'm starting Taylor. Why not? All right, whatever. Piet, Andre in the midfield, Petrasso, Romero on the wings, Jackson Amell, Kyle Aaron. So it's basically the same lineup, except Piet in at defensive midfielder. On the bench, we got Crepeau, Sam, and there's Tran. He's on the bench. Toure, Pace, Mane, and Dupuis. So it's pretty much exactly the same lineup as we had when we beat the Crew in the last round. Anyway, NYC, Red Bulls. They got Robles in goal. He's a very tough player. Captain. He's hard to get past. Adams, there's that youngster, Tyler Adams at fullback. Murillo, Steris, Silva as their defense. Philippe and Moore. There's Adair on the left wing. Got to watch out for him. Torres in the middle. He's another guy we got to watch out for. Abang on the right and Peterson up top. Peterson is their top goal scorer. He's highest average rating, 16 goals. So Adair is their leading scorer. Right? Is that what I'm looking at here? Maybe. Yes, 18 goals for Adair. So the Red Bulls have scored a lot of goals. At least those two guys have scored a lot of goals. But for whatever reason, we've been able to hold them down. So let's hope that can continue. We've been on a good run lately, so go out and impress me. Nope. All right. Let's get to it. First leg. Wow. Wilfred has a lot to say about these guys. They know we got to close down basically on everybody. We should probably keep an eye on Tyler Adams. He's gonna do something sneaky, I'm pretty sure. And Hugo Silva is also pretty good, I think. Yeah. So I don't know. We're just gonna have to close down on everybody. Watch everybody. Tightly mark everybody. Do everything to everybody. All right. Montreal side can book a spot in the MLS Cup. Whatever. That's a dumb question. Get out of here. All right. So here we are at home, Saputo Stadium. Le Bleu out in force. We got a few empty seats over here. Maybe it's hard to tell. Yeah, I see a couple of empty seats here and there. That's no good. So it's not a complete sellout. It's just mostly a sellout. Much like the New York Redbulls. Mostly. Anyway. All right, first highlight is over and done with. Here's Petrasso. Gets it into Bruno. Bruno scores 2 minutes in on the header. Look at that. Ever since we put him in the lineup, he's found his place with the team, I guess. I mean, it took him a few weeks. We brought him in at the end of the season. Look at that. Great header. And he's just started to play. Good man. Outstanding. This is a good time for it, especially with Cabrera sort of flagging at the moment. He hasn't played well down the stretch. So if we can get Bruno in there playing well, that's outstanding. It's Robles being a little bit daring with the ball. Taylor heads it down to Piet. Bruno gets it up to Laren, who can't win the header. Adair's got a lot of space. Torres on the run. Wow, he rockets one. Yeah. I told you we got to watch that guy. That was an outstanding shot. Not much you can do to stop that. I mean, we could have stopped the ball from getting to him. Peterson here just... I don't know if that was our central defense or our defensive midfielder who sort of... they all collapsed on Peterson when he got the ball. So maybe our defense is set up a little bit wrong. Maybe we shouldn't cover Peterson quite as tightly, but it's hard to uncover the striker. Anyway, they got their away goal. I guess that's good for them, but it didn't help Columbus. So maybe we can do the same things to them. Here's Jackson, centers to Piet. Piet, not exactly sure what he's doing. That was a dangerous cross. Bruno, please get the ball. Thank you. Thank you. I thought he was just going to let that Red Bull guy crash and get the ball. Here's Petrasso, wins the header down to Jackson Amell. He didn't do much in our first leg. Oh, there's Kyle Laren. Gets it out wide to Petrasso. Back post to Romero. You know, can't beat Robles on a weak header like that. Oh, highlight continues. A little blip there. Robles bombs it downfield. Duverne wins it, but he sends it straight to Adams. They dare again. Moore out wide to Abong. Their other fullbacks getting forward. Silva. So no good. He's got Peterson wide open. Suddenly our defense is looking a little leaky. That's 2 away goals. This is now a problem. Silva, I mean, he makes a great run, and our defense is just out of position. "15 minutes down, it's already 2-1. This is looking like a game versus Philadelphia. I didn't think the Red Bulls had it in them. Midfield's being outnumbered. That's how it is. Petrasso again with the corner play. Sends it in again. Bruno again with the header. This time Robles makes the save. But that's how our corner play is supposed to work. But now the counterattack. Adair has it. Centers to Philippe. That was a bad touch. Piet with a little bit of defense there, but Peterson. Don't like how the Red Bulls are controlling this match at the moment. Silva getting forward. A bong. There's Bruno. Good play. He sends it forward. Petrasso to Jackson. Get it forward to Kyle Larin. Get it forward. Come on, buddy. You can do it. That's a bad pass. But Larin has it. Larin. Nope. Gotta lead him a little bit. Come on. Okay, the highlights continue. 25 minutes down. There's been a lot of highlights already. There's Petrasso with another good steal. Centers it, but doesn't really give it to anybody. Philippe chases it down for the Red Bulls. Gets it to Adair. He's got Peterson streaking forward. Peterson, oh, great tackle by Piet. Bruno to Taylor. Gets it, almost gets it to Jackson. Petrasso. There's the ball to Jackson we were looking for. Jackson is basically our advanced playmaker as the target man. Oh, he almost got that ball forward to Larin. Andre recovers, resets the offense out wide to Petrasso. He's not really the type to go around people, unfortunately. That's not really one of his skill sets. But he does like getting forward. Kyle Larin, get it. No, that's not what I wanted. He had some men going forward. He probably should have passed that. Here's a bong now getting forward. Bruno again. Bruno always looks like he's not going to go for the ball, but then he does. He runs so casually. It's a little disturbing, but so far he hasn't messed up. There's Jackson Amell. Wins a header onto Kyle Larin. He's behind the defense. Almost pulled the sneaky shot over Robles. Just over the goal. That was a good attempt. That's reminiscent of Mancosu had a goal like that a couple of seasons ago where he just flipped it over the goalkeeper. It's a very deft shot, but Larin couldn't quite pull it off. Here's Piet with another yellow card. That might get him another suspension, unfortunately. Not this game, hopefully, but next game. So we got to watch out for that. Moore gets a yellow card. Oh, Kamar Lawrence is injured. I didn't realize that. Oh, here we go. Petrasso. Andre saves it to Larin. He's got some men going forward, but he drops it back to Piet. Going to try to reset the offense. Back to Larin. Petrasso. Jackson Amell around the defense. Come on, Robles. What are you doing making that stop? Told you, he's a good goalkeeper. He's very tough, very gritty. Here's Petrasso. Corner kick, no good. Hope the highlight continues here. Somebody's going to throw it in. Nope. Robles with the goal kick. 33 minutes down. Bruno wins the header to Jackson Amell. Gets it forward. Kyle Larin doesn't exactly go for it. Let's give the boys a little pep talk. Let's ask for some passion. How about that? Robles bombs it downfield. Duverne with a header. Moore is going to settle it down and start the attack for New York Red Bulls. Giger, that's his first real highlight. Petrasso now is on the counterattack. He bangs it forward for Kyle Larin. Great pass. Larin is through with the goal. There we go. That's what we need a little bit more of. Oh, with the cartwheel for the supporters, and they go wild. I don't hear any sounds from the game. Is that real? Is that Memorex? Yeah, I guess so. Maybe it's just me. But anyway, here's Larin right past the goalkeeper. Outstanding shot. Robles can't stop everything. I mean, he's good, but he's not that good. We're looking okay in terms of ratings. Petrasso's playing really well. Larin and Bruno with the goals are looking pretty good. The Red Bulls are pretty much the same. 6.5s everywhere, except for their two goalkeepers. All right, goal scorers, I should say. Petrasso sends in another corner. Larin going to reset the offense to Andre with the shot. No good. It's deflected. Ooh, New York is playing with fire there. And we're going to get a throw in. 43 minutes down. Jackson Amell wins it forward to Petrasso. Petrasso tries the center. Again with the sort of dangerous passing here by the Red Bull. Looks like they're trying to keep control of things and play it short. And we're gonna pressure them. We're gonna play their own game. New York is known as a high pressing team. There's Laren, gets it to Jackson, out wide to Petrasso. Petrasso takes it himself to Kyle Laren. That was a good play by Petrasso, but Laren just couldn't finish it off. But yeah, the Red Bulls are known as a pressing team, so it's sort of the old basketball adage of you press a pressing team. I don't know if that works in soccer, but it's definitely the wisdom of basketball. Anyway, here we go. Kyle Laren heads it on. Jackson Amell. Again, he's been our playmaker this season, a guy who's been getting our offense going as the target man. Petrasso again cuts in. Andre out wide to Piet. Jackson to Kyle Laren. He tries to sneak a shot past Robles. Nobody's giving the ball to Romero on the right-hand side. I'm not sure why. He seems open quite a bit. And he scored a couple of goals last game, so people should give him the ball. He's their captain. He's shown that he can score in the big games. He can come up big in the big games. So let's get him the ball. All right, 2 minutes of stoppage time. Just about up. Looks like we're going to cruise into halftime 2-2. It's pretty good. I mean, it's bad because they got the 2 away goals, but the fact that we're keeping up with them, I'm happy with that. Should encourage our players to play a short passing play? I don't think so. I kind of think the opposite, actually. I wouldn't mind going a little bit more direct, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think we're going to stay the same. Just get the boys fired up. We owe New York after what happened last time. Yes, we do. All right. You know, it was only a red card that cost us that last game. Petrasso's playing so well out there on the left-hand side. Maybe we don't even need Vargas. We can trade Vargas away and get some cash for him, which we don't particularly need. But anyway, if Vargas wants to go that bad, like if he starts making a stink about it, I think we're okay with Petrasso. You know, we still have to decide if we're bringing Romero back next season or not. Here's Romero to Jackson. Piet looking back to Jackson. Centers for Kyle Laren. Doesn't get to him. But Duverne is there. He's going to hold things up. Wait for things to develop. Nope, he's going to send it to Jackson Amell. What a pass. What a pass by the young Frenchman to Jackson Amell for the go-ahead goal. 3-2, 54 minutes in. That was really nice. Duverne just sort of leisurely waits for the ball, takes his time, couple of touches, and boom. Spots Jackson Amell going back post. Great finish. All right. Let's keep our lead going. I mean, I was listening to the 5-Star podcast again, and they were talking about what do you do to keep a lead? Do you make changes? Do you go defensive? What do you do? And I think the consensus there was don't touch anything or you're going to jinx it. You know, like you're going to mess with the numbers. You're going to cause something to reset and cause the computer to recalculate and start doing all kinds of wacky stuff. So most of the guys on the podcast said, like, just leave it alone and don't make any changes and don't mess it up. So we'll test that theory right here in the playoffs in the biggest game of the season. Well, you know, one of the biggest games of the season. The biggest game to date. The next game will be the biggest game. But for now, this is the biggest game, and we're We're going to try to just hold on. Petrasso sends it into Bruno with another header. If Bruno can do nothing but this, he's going to be starting next season, no doubt. I mean, if he can bring this kind of edge to our set pieces, I will be more than happy with Bruno. 73 minutes. We're still looking good. Piet's got that yellow card. We could bring him out. Here's Andre with the header. Who's going to catch up to it? Romero with the tackle, but Moore chases it down for New York. Centering pass to Torres. We got to watch him. Here's Adair. Good stop by Leutwiler. Leutwiler hasn't been tested much this game, but he hasn't really come up big either. Here's Ramirez with the corner. Sends it in. Romero heads it out. Finally touches the ball. Mesquita is in the game. He tries Leutwiler, and he gets a stop. So, Piet is tired. He's got the yellow card. Question. Toure or Pace? Toure or Pace? I mean, Toure, he's so good, but he's so slow. I don't really want him in at this point. We're going to drop Andre back to defensive midfielder. Segundo. Then we're going to bring in Pace. Make Pace, I mean, so make him the deep lying playmaker. And just drop our midfield back a little bit. Bring in some young, fresh legs. I mean, he's not the fastest dude around either. 10 pace, but 7 tackling. Let's undo that. I mean, I guess if we're going to go this way, might as well bring the big man in for defense for, deep lying playmaker. Because even though he's slow, I didn't want him at defensive midfielder because he's got to run around too much and actually make plays. But at, deep lying playmaker, he only has 9 tackling, 12 marking. So he's not the greatest defender either. But, I guess we'll get the most out of him that we can. So, and then if we need to make another sub, if we need to bring in our third midfielder, we can do that. We can bring in Pace and, drop to the 4-1-2-3 if necessary. There we go. Piet out, Toure in. Here's Torres. Sends one in. Oh, Bruno saves the day. The ball was bouncing around. I was holding my breath. Okay, 80 minutes. Ramirez sends it in, headed out by Bruno again. He's everywhere on that back line at the moment. Silva has it. Redbulls trying to reset the offense. Moore gets it forward, but there's that man, Bruno again. Leutwiler, 81 minutes, so the clock is not moving very fast. Gets it downfield to Romero, who Kamar Lawrence is in with his injury. There's Toure. Drops it to Andre. Gets it forward to Jackson Amell, to Kyle Laren. Oh, past one defender. Robles dove for it, but at the end of the day, he didn't have to make the save. It just went high on its own. 83 minutes. So again, the clock is only ticking a couple of minutes at a time. Bruno misses the header. Adair wins it. Adair one-on-one with Leutwiler. Oh, what a stop. That was pretty dramatic. I mean, he was flailing all over the place, but he got a hand on it. Here's Moore. Sends one in. Andre wins it out, but Ramirez is going to track it down. All right, boys. Let's Taylor wins the header. There we go. Let's see the clock run a little bit. I mean, let's get a move on. All right, Romero's looking a little nervous. Petrasso is looking good. Laren and Jackson also playing well. 86 minutes. Let's go. So they've made all 3 of their subs. We've only made the 1. We could sub out for Romero. Bring in Mane. Oh, here we go. Bombs it downfield. Who's going to get there? Bruno, of course. No, Lutweiler. Looks like New York's getting desperate. There's 3 minutes of stoppage time. So we got our wish. The clock started running for sure. Lutweiler bombs it down. Gets it to Jackson Amell. Jackson Amell looking forward to Kyle Laren. He's looking out wide to Petrasso. Petrasso back to Jackson Amell. Not a great shot. Redbulls scoops that one up easily. Would have liked to seen a little bit more oomph on that shot. Got to teach Jackson Amell to shoot with power. Duvern wins the header. Andre tracks it down at midfield. He pumps it forward. Petrasso, he's got a man heading for the box. There's Kyle Laren with the header. Redbulls is there, though, so we're looking good. Minute and a half to go. We're getting all the highlights. Redbulls is going to toss it to midfield, but Yaya Toure is there, and he pumps it forward. Petrasso again. They cannot stop this man. He centers it. He centered it in between the 2 strikers. Didn't pick one out, unfortunately, but Toure gets it to Bruno again on the set piece. Bruno is there. He's the guy we've been waiting for these set pieces. 40 seconds to go. Let's do it, boys. Let's close it out at home. Andre, good header to Jackson. Jackson out wide again to Petrasso. Offside, yes. It was a late pass. But Petrasso is beating that right wing. He is just quicker to the ball than anybody they got on the right side of their defense. Adair trying for some last-minute heroics. Duvern, do not get a penalty. Okay, that was full time. Thank you. That would have been the worst penalty in the world. But there we go. We hold on for a 3-2 home victory. They got the 2 away goals, so they got a little silver lining there, but we got the 1-goal advantage going in to New York. So all we need to do is hold on. Just get a 1-1 draw, 0-0 it, whatever we got to do to get the victory. We just got to do it. So how do we look here ratings-wise? Petrasso killed it. Bruno played very well. Laren, Jackson Amell, 8.3 and a goal. Pretty good. 2 assists for Petrasso. So that was outstanding play by our forwards. And 1 just outstanding performance on the back line by Bruno. You know, he got the goal. He was in set pieces all over the place. He was playing defense really well. So outstanding addition to the lineup is Monsieur Bruno. All right. You played well today. No, well done, guys. Good win. Let's go. Leave the match. All right, so we'll come back in our next video for the second leg and hopefully a trip to the MLS Cup. How outstanding would that be? All right, so until then, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.